So, when you hear the word termite, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably just a tiny pest, right? But what if I told you they're actually some of the most sophisticated engineers on the entire planet, with incredibly organized societies? Today, we're diving deep into the secret world of termites.
Okay, so first things first. Let's clear up a really common mix-up. I'm sure you've heard termites called white ants before. I mean, they look kind of similar and they both live in these huge colonies. But are they really ants?
Well, the answer is a huge no. Not even close, actually. Get this. Termites are technically a type of highly social cockroach. Yep, you heard that right. A cockroach that went down a completely different path and developed this unbelievably complex social life. And believe me, that little surprise is just the beginning. To really get a handle on these creatures, we have to look at the sheer scale of their world. Termites aren't just a handful of species. They are a global superpower, hiding in plain sight. There are more than 2,600 known species of termites all across the globe. They figured out how to live just about everywhere, from super dry lands to damp forests, and their diets are just as diverse. They'll eat wood, grasses, leaf litter, some of them even just eat soil. And this is where you can really see how different they are from ants. Termites belong to the same group as cockroaches. The babies, called nymphs, basically look like miniature adults, and their workforce, it's made up of both males and females. Ants, on the other hand, are related to bees and wasps. They have a totally different life cycle with larva and pupa stages, and get this, all of their workers are female. So biologically, they're worlds apart. Now, to give you an idea of just how massive their impact is, check this out. In some tropical areas, if you could take all the animals and put them on a giant scale, the termites alone would make up a staggering 10% of the total weight. They are this huge, hidden force of nature, and the secret to all that success is their organization. So let's zoom in from that massive global view, right into the heart of their world, the colony. A single termite colony is so perfectly coordinated, scientists often call it a superorganism. It's like one giant living thing, made up of tons of individual specialists, all working together as one. You know, there's a special scientific term for this kind of lifestyle. It's called eusocial, and it's basically the highest level of social living you can find in nature. It just means they all cooperate to raise the young, multiple generations all live together, and different groups or castes have very specific jobs to do. Inside this superorganism, you've got three main groups. First are the workers. They do literally everything, from finding food and building the nest to taking care of the baby nymphs. Then you have the soldiers, who are the colony's defenders, with these big armored heads and jaws. And finally, you have the reproductives, the king and queen. And here's something wild. Because they spend their whole lives in the pitch-black darkness of the nest, both the workers and soldiers are almost always completely blind. This division of labor creates this amazing web of dependency. The soldiers' jaws, for example, are so specialized for fighting that they literally can't feed themselves, and the king and queen are too busy making more termites, so they all have to rely on the workers to bring them food by regurgitating it for them. It's a perfectly tuned, interconnected system. Okay, now let's get to one of the most mind-blowing things about termites. They aren't just builders, they are absolute master engineers. They are true architects of the natural world, and their designs are so advanced that we are only just now starting to really understand them. When they need to travel safely outside the nest, they build these incredible mud tubes. But these aren't just tunnels. Think of them like protected, climate-controlled highways that keep the temperature and humidity just right. This lets them go out and forage for food without ever being exposed to the harsh outside world. And their bigger structures? Wow, they are true architectural marvels. Down in Australia, there are magnetic mounds that are always built facing north to south to perfectly control the temperature inside. Then you've got cathedral mounds. These can be massive towers, 15 feet high, with intricate tunnels that work like a natural air conditioning system. Some species even build their nests way, way up in the trees.
So they're master builders, but what about when they have to defend those incredible structures? Well, they've developed some truly amazing and highly specialized ways to protect the colony.
And their defense tactics are just next level. Some soldiers have jaws that can snap shut with so much speed and force they can just smash an enemy ant. Others, called gnawsuit soldiers, have this weird snout that sprays a sticky, irritating goo. And some species even have kamikaze termites that will literally rupture their own bodies to explode a sticky, neutralizing liquid all over their attackers.
So, if most of them are blind, how do they even navigate their world? Well, it's all about vibration. They don't have ears like we do. Instead, they hear by feeling tiny vibrations in the ground through their legs and antenna. That's how they communicate warnings, find food, and even detect the footsteps of a predator getting close.
So how does a massive city like this even get started? Well, it all begins at the very heart of the colony, with the royal family. They are the ones who found an entire dynasty.
It all kicks off with something called the nuptial flight. This is when young, winged kings and queens, known as alates, fly out from their home colony in a huge swarm. A king and queen will find each other, land, and then do something amazing. They break off their own wings. It's a powerful commitment, saying, okay, we're done flying. We're starting our new life underground right here. From there, they dig a small chamber and the new dynasty begins.
And here's something that makes them really different from, say, ants or bees. The termite king doesn't just mate and then die. No, he stays with the queen for his entire life. He helps fertilize her eggs and even helps raise the first batch of young nymphs. He's a true partner and a dad from day one.
And once that colony gets going, the queen, well, she transforms into an absolute egg-laying machine. Her body swells up to an incredible size, and some queens can lay up to 30,000 eggs in a single day. Think about that. That's more than one egg every 3 seconds, all day, every day.
So, what's the big takeaway here? I mean, besides being critically important for recycling nutrients in the environment, these tiny architects are now inspiring our own. As Dr. Rupert Soar points out, by studying how they build and ventilate their mounds, we might actually learn how to design living, breathing buildings that can regulate their own climate without using tons of energy.
And that really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Termites really show us that with incredible cooperation and ingenious design, even the smallest, blindest creatures can achieve monumental things. So if they can build self-cooling skyscrapers without a single blueprint, what other amazing secrets do you think they're holding, waiting for us just beneath the surface?